Good evening to all the viewers. My name is Sumit, and I'm a senior manager operations service delivery with Leverage Edu. And you guys must have seen my previous sessions. We've already spoken about a lot of topics around education overseas, and also where I've told you that Leverage Edu is India's most trusted overseas study platform where we help students with the entire admission process, starting from uh, the career counseling, shortlisting the courses in the universities that are apt for them, moving on making applications to the desired universities, chasing offers for them, helping them with the accommodation and some financial assistance which is required to file visa, and then finally with the visa process. And we help students with the end-to-end processing of their admissions process and applications to their dream university. So, as promised, we are back today with another interesting topic, and today we'll be having discussion around which is the most you know suitable destination for study overseas, whether it's Australia or it is Canada. Okay, so these are the two most popular destinations, not only amongst Indian students, but across various countries across the world. So, first we'll talk about what makes these two destinations so popular amongst the student population. Okay, so so Australia, see right now, for about a year and a half, the borders are shut, and all the all the students who were kind of interested in applying to Australian universities are kind of not happy. There were a lot of international students who have come back to India and their uh, country of origin, and they kind of have stuck there because the borders are closed right now. But there's a good news which I came across 2 days back, and there was an article where it's saying that very soon Australia will be opening borders and will bring back the students who are stuck in their origin places of origin. So, and soon after that, definitely we're also hoping that the universities will open their campuses and students will be able to apply to their dream universities in Australia and start studying on the campus. Okay, so that's a little bit of information I wanted to share about Australia. So, Australia and Canada have always been, the two most popular destinations for students. There were some other destinations which kind of had seen a lot of turbulence when it comes to student interests. However, Australia and Canada has been something, which has been very consistent for last, at least for last 4 or 5 years, and has always been on the top of the list of international students. So, Australia and Canada both are PR. So it's very popular amongst the students because these both these destinations provide post study visa to the international students, which give them ample opportunity and enough time to apply for work post they complete their graduation. And also the way forward is that these two countries are really flexible in terms of giving permanent residency as an option to these international students. Yeah. So we'll discuss that in some time. But first, we'll do a little bit of comparison between these two countries. So Australia and Canada, uh, there are some differences in terms of the education structure, the weather over there. What are some top universities in Australia? We'll also have a discussion on some top universities in Canada. What are the options available in both these destinations in terms of degrees or diplomas offered by the universities? So we'll start first doing the comparison when it comes to the weather. Okay. First, we'll start talking about the difference in the weather and the climatic conditions for in both these destinations. So, all the students who kind of do not like harsh winters, they should definitely choose Australia over Canada, because Canada, majority of the cities in Canada, they experience some really harsh winters. The temperature goes down. It's like -30, -40 below the normal temperature. So it's kind of become very difficult for the students who do not like harsh winters or cannot tolerate uh, the like very cold or harsh weather should kind of give Australia a preference over Canada, because Australia sees there is a Australia sees there is no extreme weather in Australia. So you have winters, you also have summers, but majority of the time, it's quite pleasant throughout the year, and the weather is not as extremely harsh as you will experience in Canada. Okay. Uh, the second thing we'll talk about is the eligibility criteria and the kind of degrees or diplomas that are offered in both these destinations. So, as far as bachelor's is concerned, Australia also requires a 12 years of formal education, and Canada also requires a 12 years of formal education. However, in Canada, you'll find at an undergraduate level also, you'll find degree programs. You'll also find some diploma programs offered by these colleges and the universities, which is like a 2 year of course, which leads you to the third year or fourth year in a university, and then you can complete your bachelor's from that desired university of yours, and then you get a 4 years of bachelor degree from that university. However, in Australia, you only have an option of opting for a undergraduate degree. They don't have a diploma programs offered by the universities where you have this arrangement of doing a 2 year of an undergraduate diploma from university, and then you move on completing your degree the third and the fourth year. So that kind of arrangement is not available in Australia. So also, in order to get your post-study work, it's very important for you to, do a full-time degree, and then only you qualify for a post-study work. Okay, and also in terms of duration of these degrees, there is a bit of difference. Majority of the degrees, the undergrad degrees in Australia are 3 year programs, and majority of the undergraduate programs in Canada are 4 years programs. Having said that, there are also some universities that do offer a 3 year program at bachelor's level in Canada as well. However, majority of the top institutions that you'll find in Canada offer only a 4 year of undergraduation program. So that's the basic difference. And also, now coming on to the master's programs, again, all master's program, both in Australia and in Canada, are 2 year programs. However, having mentioned that at undergraduate level, also students have an option to select diploma programs. So the similar way at master level also, they have graduate certificates and postgraduate diplomas that they can pick depending on the money or the cost of the program. If students think that finances is a constraint and they would like to go for a 1 year diploma program rather doing a 2 year master's degree or a 2 year of postgraduate diploma, they can also opt for a 1 year postgraduate diploma uh, where the cost would be really less. Okay, so that is something which they can opt for. However, when it comes to Australia, again, there are no diplomas that are being offered at the master's level. You have to do a 2 year of full-time degree in case you want to qualify for a post-study work visa. So that's the difference when it comes to the the courses offered in these universities in both the destinations. I've also spoken about the weather and the climatic conditions in both of these destinations. Now we'll talk about the post study. So both these destinations are quite popular amongst the students because both offer a permanent residency programs for international students post they complete their education. So also there's a post-study visa that you get in Canada and in Australia, post which you can carry on your work and you get some points basis your work experience, your education in the time that you have spent uh, uh, in Australia and in Canada, and basis those points you uh, qualify for the permanent residency. And if you qualify, you meet all the criteria for the permanent residency, you get through it, and then you become the citizen of the country. Okay, so that is something which attracts a lot of international students. And before the pandemic and before the lockdown, when the borders were open, there were majority of the students had Canada and Australia on the top of their list of the study destinations that they would want to go for. Okay. Also, also talking about, so it's not just about the permanent residency, but it's also about the quality of education. So it's not that these two destinations offer a post-study visa, and getting a permanent residency in both these destinations is quite easy, is something which is attracting a lot of students. Keeping that aside, the quality of education is also something which is attracting a lot of these customers the students to these study destinations. Okay, so I'll just take a few names of the Canadian institutions and also mention a few universities in Australia that are top ranked and also the first choice for all these international students. So in Canada, you have a lot of top ranked universities like Alberta, Waterloo, University of British Columbia. Uh, you have University of Toronto. You have McGill. You have Ryerson. So all these are some really good institutions that offer top class quality education to the students. Yeah. Similarly, in Australia, you have a lot of top class institutions that provide quality education to the students. They have really good infrastructure. The faculty, teaching in these institutions are really amazing. Uh, these institutions are top ranked and are first preference for the students. And some of the programs that the students go for are really taught really well in these institutions, and the employability rate is also really high in these institutions. So, naming a few, in Australia, you have University of Sydney, you have University of Melbourne, uh, you have Adelaide, you have Monash, uh, there's RMIT, there's Victoria, there are a lot of other top rated institutions in Australia. So all these universities offer quality of education to the students, and that is also one of the reasons that these students are selecting Australia and Canada as their top preferred study destination. Yeah. So so that is the thing. Now, we'll take up another interesting parameter for comparison between these two destinations, which is the cost involved. In terms of the tuition fees, Australia for a UG program, you would require somewhere around 15,000 to 30,000 Australian dollars a year. And similarly in Canada, it is $10,000 to 30,000 Canadian dollars a year. Okay. Coming to PG programs in Australia, it's going to cost you around 20,000 to 37,000 Australian dollars a year. And talking about Canada, Canada would cost you somewhere between 15,000 to 35,000 Canadian dollars a year for the PG program. Okay, so that's the basic difference in the cost when it comes to the tuition. Uh, And talking about the accommodation and living expenses, in Australia, it's going to cost you around 19,000 to around 21,000 Australian dollars a year. And in Canada, it's going to cost you around 10,000 to 15,000 Canadian dollars a year. Okay. So on an average, I think there's a bit of difference, but when I kind of club the tuition fees and the accommodation, the living expenses, it's kind of it averages out to be quite similar. So again, students have so if you feel there if finances is of something which you really need to figure out, you have some budget constraints and you want to go for a maybe a 1 year of a diploma program instead of a 2 year master's degree, then you should prefer Canada over Australia. Uh, if if you have a 3 years bachelor degree, and majority of the universities in Canada are asking for a 16 years of education, which means a 4 year bachelor degree, then for you it's better to opt for some Australian university. If you're somebody who enjoys harsh winters and are able to survive and kind of tolerate harsh winters and are kind of um, really passionate and you love experiencing snowfall, 6 to 8 months in a year, you kind of should be looking out for Canada as a study destination. And if you're somebody who's kind of who doesn't like harsh winters and want a pleasant climate and uh, is a beach person, uh, want to chill, yeah, you know, on the beachfront, you should definitely choose Australia over Canada. Okay. So these are some basic comparisons, and there is no there's no fixed answer to whether Australia is better than Canada or Canada is better than Australia. It all depends on your personal choice. The kind of money that you want to spend on your tuition, accommodation, and living expenses. Uh, the kind of person you are, the kind of the preference you have in terms of the weather conditions, the degree or the diploma program that you're looking for, the choice of universities. Uh, also the post-study visa and the PR preferences that you have. So recently, the PR options were closed for Sydney and Melbourne, and before the pandemic, the lockdown, it was only open for the regional areas. However, Canada, it was open for all provinces. So that was again one thing which was attracting a lot of students to Canada uh, over Australia. Okay, so again, it's about your personal choices and preferences. I have mentioned down the key points of comparison between the two destinations. So you can weigh your options, do a comparison, and whichever destination you think is kind of weighing heavy in terms of your choices and preferences, you can definitely go ahead with it. But according to me, these are the two destinations which have which have always been on the top of the list for all the international students and will be for the coming years as well, because of the obvious reasons that I've stated some time back. Okay, so that's about today's session, and if you want to apply to any of the universities in Australia or Canada, you have any questions regarding the process, the universities that you would like to go for, you have any questions around the visa requirements, you can you can just get in touch with the Leverage Edu team. It's very simple. You just follow a few steps. You go onto the Leverage Edu website, book a free 30 minutes counseling session with our experts, and they will get back to you, and we'll definitely have an answer to any of the questions that you would have for us. Okay. So thank you so much, viewers, for your time. And Stay tuned for our next Leverage Live session. Will be followed by this session tomorrow and day after. So will you be available there? And we'll be back with some more interesting topics. Thank you so much for your time and stay safe.